Hello everybody, hope you're doing marvelously well. We're going to try out Sonnox's Suppressor, EQ and Dynamcs. So we got a double whammy. You can win these in a giveaway, and of course you can download these multi-tracks for free, and there is a tutorial on this as well. So you can try the plugins on these multi-tracks. Those of you that watched this tutorial before will know that I did quite a lot of work on the vocal with different types of de-essing. So let's have a listen to the untreated vocal. This is going to be turning every single thing off.
Sizing up the line, I've crossed 100 times.
Now, you can tell I tamed the S's and the T's somewhat just by using clip gain inside of Pro Tools. Now, I also have applied some EQ to make it brighter here, which of course will increase any S's there are as well. So I've been using a combination of de-essing with EQ. So before I do anything else, let's just put the suppressor on. I do like to use this at the beginning of the vocal track. This is nice because it's already given me two areas of reduction. The threshold here obviously is going to be how much. And there's the wet and dry, which I believe in any plugin now is a must to have a wet and dry knob. Because we could do something really, really aggressive and then dial it back quickly and easily. But let's keep it at 100%.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line, I've crossed 100 times. Taking count of all the nights considered.
So I like this. I've got a nice width between 3K and nearly 8K. That's a lot of really aggressive area, some really painful area that it's controlling.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away.
I can see the amount of reduction going on over here.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the...
This is good for me because when I did this original mix, for those of you following me, I use different de-essers at different points. This is a really sweet idea. This is really nice. I haven't used this before. I like to do this straight out of the box and try it. But what is fantastic about this is it's grabbing a whole area.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away.
Let's bypass it.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away.
It's really controlling it nicely. Now I feel like, let's put an EQ on here. I will usually put this first because I can do a de-essing, then EQ, then de-ess afterwards. So what I'm going to do next is put on the Dynamcs here, put on some compression.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line, I've crossed 100 times.
So it's nice. I mean, this is like, wow. So I've got a gate, an expander, a compressor, a limiter, sidechain EQ, and a warmth control. This is pretty nice. So I can access, oh wow, this is really neat. This is like this could be a 20-minute tutorial just on this. But let's put on the compressor.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away.
Very easy to use, so I'm controlling the threshold here.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line, I've crossed 100
Just
times.
experimenting how it sounds.
Taking count of all the nights considered lost.
Got my ratio set pretty low. I've got about 2 to 4 maximum dB.
I landed here with
gain
the
reductions.
world
It's
2
living around about 3 dB worth of gain reduction.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line, I've crossed 100 times. Taking count of all the nights considered lost. Holding tight to who we were before I knew of all the dirt. And stay with me, don't leave, I need you now.
I really kind of like this. I want to play this in different positions. I almost feel like this is a nice way to control, maybe going into some EQ now. So let's go in and grab that the dynamic EQ. Dynamic EQ could be really, really exciting on his voice here. Let's have a listen.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away.
There's this sort of area around about here. There's a build-up.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line I've crossed 100 times. Taking count of all the nights considered lost. Holding tight to who we were before I knew of all the dirt. And stay with me, don't leave, I need you now. And when I do what's right, I know I'll make you proud. Instead of pacing back and forth.
This is really, really nice. So this is a nice little feature here because I've got a lot of low mid build up in his vocal here.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away.
I like how you grab it and then it just immediately turns to these tools and it color codes. It's really neat.
I landed here.
That's really nice.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line I've crossed 100 times. Taking count of all the nights considered lost.
So I want to get this cue.
Holding tight
Go back to this one.
we were before I knew of all the dirt. And stay with me, don't leave, I need you now. And when I do what's right, I know I'll make you proud.
I like this. I just grab it and immediately goes to it.
Instead of pacing back and forth and giving in when you want more. So it's a shame now that I can't follow. Stay and wait for me, stay and wait for me. I will call when I'm coming. Stay and wait for me, I'll find you here if the stars allow it. It's even worse when I'm close and deny it. I shouldn't ask when I know you want me now.
So I brought the target down there on that low one and it's really working aggressively now.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line I've crossed 100 times. Taking count of all the nights considered lost. Holding tight to who we were before I knew of all the dirt. And stay with me, don't leave, I need you now. And when I do what's right, I know I'll make you proud. Instead of pacing back and forth and giving in when you want more. So it's a shame now that I can't follow. Stay and wait for me, stay and wait for me. I will call when I'm coming. Stay and wait for me, I'll find you here if the stars allow it. It's even worse when I'm close and deny it. I shouldn't ask when I know.
So I'm just playing around with this. Having a lot of fun. It's like shaping EQ, but without it getting aggressive, because being a dynamic EQ, it's grabbing it and EQing it when it gets excessive. That is different between me just pulling down some EQ and it's just a blanket cut. This is a really, really nice tool. Really nice for evening out the vocal.
I landed here.
Now, I'm new to this. And I know many of you watching have been playing with this for years and people have been telling me about Sonnox for years. So that's the reason why I wanted to find out all about it.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line I've crossed 100.
Okay, so there's a dynamic EQ. This is really, really kind of fun. Now I really want to put like I'm doubling up the suppressor.
I landed here with the world 2 steps away. Sizing up the line I've crossed 100 times.
Wow, it's really nice. It's really controlled the high end on that vocal without me having to get, I mean, it's really close to the sound that I want.
Stay with me, don't leave, I need you now. And
I think in modern pop and rock, what we're always trying to do is get the vocal to be bright and be present without it ever being aggressive. And one of the realities about working in digital only is, you know, we're so used to analog equipment smoothing out transients and all this kind of stuff that we're looking for tools like this to control that high end. These tools really help me get a really, really smooth pop vocal.
And when I do it's right, I know I'll make you proud. Instead of pacing back and forth and giving in when you want more.
Now to me there's a 9 or 10K zip, zip, zip going on there. I don't know if you can hear it. So let's go past 10K on this. Maybe narrow it down a little bit.
And when I do it's right, I know I'll make you proud. Instead of pacing back and forth.
Here or there going.
Giving in.
There it really, really nicely controlled it.
I know I'll make you proud.
Here.
Instead of pacing back and forth.
Actually controlled it a lot. I'm going to bring it down a bit. I'll give you a before and after. Here's a before.
Instead of pacing back and forth.
The pacing and steads. Now just a little less. Here we go.
Instead of pacing back and forth and giving in when you want more. So it's a shame now that I can't follow. Stay and wait for me, stay and wait for me.
There's always a reality when I'm using de-essing. I have to back it off. You fall in love with the sound of it, and then you realize that you're taking out so much of the high end out of the vocal that you can end up making your vocalists sound like they're lisping. So doing fantastic work on the vocal. Okay, let's move on and try this on bass guitar. The reason why I want to hear the dynamic EQ in particular on bass guitar. So typically on bass guitar, I'll use a bass boost and then I'll control it sometimes with multiband compressors. And in this particular one, what was interesting about this song is the verses are played with fingers and then the choruses are played with pick. So it's a totally different performance. Here it is with no EQ, no compression. Let's do a couple of things. Let's firstly get the dynamic EQ to control any unwanted notes, because the thing about bass guitar is you can get like a note just jumping out of nowhere, and that happens a lot. Now what's interesting here is we have no lack of low end on here. But here on the fingers, all around this low mid area, there's a lack. But it goes crazy there. So this is what I would do then, is I would, where it goes a little nutty on there, I'd control that. And we can narrow this Q a bit. This general area here. Let's go back to the finger style here. Definitely evening all that area out. So the nice thing about evening out this stuff now, it means if I want to boost it later, it will be more controlled. So let's grab the dynamics. want to try this warmth. Oh yeah. Pretty fantastic. One of the problems with just having an undynamic EQ, as much as we love them, is we're boosting areas that sometimes we're catching a note that's just like out of control. Bass guitars are really, really problematic for that. Like I'll be like da 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 da, and I'll go up boom 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 boom, and then it just peaks out like crazy. Now I might be compressing 90% of the signal, but when that note comes in, it might be just because it's a narrow bandwidth, it might only hit the compressor at the same amount, but totally change the characteristic of the sound. So a dynamic EQ is only going to target those specific areas as they boost. It's a really, really useful tool. Okay, the only other thing to try it on here, I think, would be on the guitar amp. What was happening here is I was getting these low, mid, build-up notes. Have a listen here.
Leave.
You can see how that area there is just out of control, which is fine in some ways. You know, it gets its own personality. It doesn't have to be removed entirely, but let's try the dynamic in that area. Let's have a listen. You see it here? I'm going to move this band out of the way. I'm going to narrow it like this. Oh yeah. Now I'm going to do the opposite. Oh, that was so quick and easy. So what I did is I boosted areas that weren't getting enough and then cut others between those two notes. That's really, really nice. Really quick and easy to use. I could probably just go in here and get rid of some super lows.
I need you now. And when...
That's amazing. Okay, so in an instance like this might be the only kind of EQ device I need on the guitars. It's working really, really, really well. It just evened out all of the guitar parts, those errant notes. It just took a few seconds. I got a great guitar sound. So thanks ever so much. Don't forget to download these files and you have a chance to win one of 3 copies of all of these plugins. So please enter to win one of those. Thanks ever so much. Again, download the multi-tracks. and you can play with these plugins on the multi-tracks. You can mix this song any way you want. Have a marvelous time recording and mixing, and we'll see you all again very, very soon.